Hi, and welcome to KatRen Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today I have another comic review for you guys. So this is Something is Killing the Children, issue 1, and even if you weren't entirely sure what this comic was about, you at least saw this gorgeous prison cover. So, what exactly is killing the children? Let's check out the issue and find out, shall we? So we dive on right into the story. We get to meet James, and James is having a sleepover. So the boys are playing Truth or Dare, and James accepts truth. Now he's asked what is the most scared he's ever been. And ultimately he tells the other boys about something that he saw coming out of the ravine behind his house. So all of the boys, not sure if he's being honest, not sure if he's making this up, decide that they're going to go out to the ravine themselves to check it out. So it's Noah's turn. Noah, Truth or Dare. Now we flash forward into clearly later on that night, and we see James once again, only this time he's covered in blood and being questioned by a detective. And James is very upset. We find out that he made the whole story up. It didn't actually happen. He didn't see something walking across his backyard. He didn't see long fingernails. He didn't see glowing eyes. He didn't see any of it. He didn't see sharp teeth. But he heard something. He heard his friends screaming. And then he starts to cry. So, something is killing the children. Very, very ominous. Anywho, getting right back on into the comic. We get to see it 2 weeks later, and we get to meet this beast right here. She is gorgeous. Anyhow, so of course she's coming out of the woods. She's covered in blood, and she's pulling a wagon with an injured child in it. And she's complaining that she needs a shower. She's asking the little girl if she has a shower somewhere. So ultimately they decide that, they need to stop off at the girl's house because she's in desperate need of a shower. And this is also when she gets a text. Text says St. George. So that's where she's going next. Immediately after that shower, because she stinks and she's covered in blood. So back at the school, apparently things have not gone very well for James. James actually takes the time to visit a bit of a marker or a memorial for a number of the children who have gone missing or have died. This is where we find out that some of the kids actually blame him, including one of his friend's older brothers, of course, threatening him, saying a bunch of very hateful things about him, calling him a perverted piece of, And we also find out some of the gory details as to what happened to James's friends, including one of them having his intestines thrown into a tree. Yeah. So ultimately, once the fight gets broken up, James is in the principal's office, and the principal's asking him, what is he supposed to do about this? And, James tells him, well, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to call my dad. And he's saying, yeah, but you really should have punched him, I mean, if any kid deserved to be punched, it would have been him. And basically, we find out that this is a very tired, very worried principal. A number of his students have been killed, and no one knows who or what is to blame. The news teams, they're not even coming by anymore. The detectives, the police, they have no leads, and they just want to blame it all on random bear attacks. This is also when we see the principal cry, apologize. But he is telling James that he needs to stand up for himself. He asks him if he would like him to at least give him the day off. But, you know, movies and English class, and James likes movies, so he's just going to hang out. So at Archer's Peak, we get to see the same strange blonde that we saw earlier on in the comic, and she's traveling here. So an old lady asks her, you know, it's Archer's Peak. Aren't you getting off? And says, yeah. And of course the old woman also says, it's terrible about those children. Wish somebody would do something about it. And the woman says, yeah. So outside of the bus, we get to see this woman stopping in front of a billboard of missing children. So just to give you an example of exactly how many kids are being affected in this one area. That's just their missing children. That's not even the confirmed dead ones. So a police officer actually asks her if she knows any of them. And she says, yeah, you could say that. So later on we see James once again, and he's actually outside of his place. And he's calling to check in with his dad. And his dad just making sure that he double locks the hotel door. So that's when he sees her, the same blonde from earlier, and she's there to ask him some questions. Now, of course, she already knows everything that he told the police. She knows what he heard, but she's more interested in what he saw. And this is when he actually opens up. And we get to see exactly the horror that James encountered. So James fell down the ravine quite a bit, and by the time he managed to claw his way up, his friends had already been attacked. So bear with me, because something is definitely killing the children. So we get to see a pretty horrifying scene of a number of his friends basically either ripped in half or bloodied up, missing limbs, and the ones that are still alive are begging for James's help. And yeah, blood, squish, grunch, heb me. Yeah, this thing it's ripping apart the children. So this is the same monster who actually killed his friends. And that's when the same female says thank you to him and accepts a phone call. It says, Class E7, Archer's Peak, Wisconsin. Yeah, I've got it handled. And snaps her phone shut. Because she's still got a flip phone. So huge shout out to flip phones, because I totally had that same phone way back when. And I'll tell you, that thing was a brick and impossible to destroy. So I wish phones were still made like that, because I break my phone basically all the time. I mean, I had one year where I had a BlackBerry. I ended up going through like 40 of those. Thank you, Best Buy phone insurance. That's all I gotta say. Because that thing was destroyed quite a few times. Anywho, back to the comic. So, James is very upset by all this. And she's like, yeah, I got it handled. You got a monster in your woods? Well, that's why I'm here. I'm going to kill it. And James asks her if he can help. So, that is it for the first issue of Something is Killing the Children. So I do have to tell you, I am super excited. I'm always down to support a horror series when at all possible, because I do love some horror comics, and there are very few anymore. Also, definitely very, very excited that this is a James Tynion the fourth book, because, hello, pretty spectacular run with the Robins, so definitely interested to see what he's got planned for us in this series. So, yeah, even if you just picked it up for the Frozen cover, I would highly suggest picking up the later printings if you can't get your hands on the first printing. I believe there's a second and a third coming out, so yay. Anywho, also, very, very excited to see the continuation of this. So please do give me a like if you like this video. Comment below and tell me whether or not you picked up Something is Killing the Children, and whether or not you just enjoyed it as much as I did. Also, please do subscribe to my channel for more comic book content, or check out any of the older videos I have up for offer here on KatRen Figures. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye.